1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 219, Expos at Royals.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Summer Carryover League. We are in the American League today with a series which on the outside looks like Expos and Royals, not a big deal, but ladies and gentlemen, it's a fine year for these two expansion franchises dating back to 1969. The Expos and Royals. They put it all together in these seasons. Well, particularly the Expos more than the Royals, I would say. And this has been some fun baseball I've been playing with these two teams. And they're giving us a show of what you need to do to be successful in the Carryover League, win games, and possible playoff matchup. And so it's an outlier historically, of course. But if you've been following my league in the last few years, I haven't been really big on the Expos, but I've been really big on the Royals, even making the suggestion that the Royals could compete for a World Series before George Brett arrives, just based on how well they were put together from '69 when they acquired Lou Piniella. They got Amos Otis from the Mets. They got John Mayberry from the Astros. They got Patek from the Pirates. Cookie Rojas. Did I mention Pat Kelly was still there. Al Cowens emerges, and then eventually they get Brett in '74. Roger Nelson's got a fantastic year in '72. Splittorff, Heedland, Doug Bird closing it out. And the Expos, my goodness, these teams deserve a nice long pregame, folks, because this Expo lineup, the top six hitters have they're on par with any team in baseball. You can give me the Pirates, the Reds, the A's, I don't care. This top six batters, Singleton, Hunt, Jorgensen, Bailey, Staub, Fairley, give you everything you could want in on base, symmetrical lefty versus righty. They don't have great defense, and the bottom three aren't that great. So let's take a look at what's happening. I'll show you some great baseball here. Game one, we open up in the Expo land. Roger Nelson's brilliant '72 card versus Steve Ranko. And this is going to be something you're going to have to follow here. First inning, bottom half in this case, Expos. They just want to come out blazing and show the world what we got here. Single, single, triple, single, and then a two-run homer by Ron Fairley. It's 5-0. They blitz Roger Nelson for 5 runs in the first frame. Top of the third, though, your Royals, they're going to fight back. 3-run homer, Bob Oliver. Bottom of the third. RBI single, it's 6-3. Nelson settles down after that. And look at these Royals in the top of the 7th off of Ranko and a halfway decent bullpen of Tom Walker, Mike Marshall, and Mickey Scott, saving Dale Murray as the closer. A walk, a double, a single, and a ground ball double play gets you 2 runs, makes it 6-5. Then in the 8th inning, a walk, ground out, and a couple pinch hit singles by Al Cowens and Dwayne Josephson, and the Royals take a 7-6 lead. Prince Rogers Nelson is pulled after 8 innings because he had given up 6 runs early. We didn't think he should be allowed to go 9. So we brought Doug Bird in, struck out a couple guys in the 9th to get the save. 7-6 final. Team scores 5 runs in the first inning, loses. Put the courage award into the Royals situation here, okay? So let's keep going. Game number 2. Same place. Mike Heedland for the Royals. Baylor Moore for the Expos. Top of the first inning. Now it's the Royals ripping off single, single, strikeout, single, single, double by Dwayne Josephson again. 3-0. Bottom half. The team, the Royals get the big 3-run first inning. Singleton hits a homer, it's 3-1. Then the Royals add on some more runs. Single, 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 and a walk. It is 6-1. Bottom of the third, after 2 quick outs. Comebacker to Heedland, he botches the grounder, and Mike Jorgensen makes him pay with a 2-out, 2-run unearned home run. And it's 6-3. Expos walk, single, single, single in the fifth. It's 6-4. Bottom of the eighth, Heedland's pulled as he's hit his point of weakness. 14 base runners allowed, so Rich Hinton is greeted by a Ken Singleton double. And Ron Hunt, with the least amount of power in the top 6, 2-run blast on his own card. The game is tied at 6. We go into the bottom of the 10th inning. Horatio Pena is brought in for the Royals. After a couple strikeouts, you walk Mike Jorgensen, and then Bob Bailey gets a triple 1-5 double off his card. And the Expos win 7-6. Same score as game 1. Opposite teams. Teams who score 3 runs in the first, they lose both games, or 5 runs in the first. So that shows how resilient the Expos are, and the Royals. These are 2 fun, competitive baseball teams who are on a roll, colliding with each other, so somebody's got to lose. So the series switches to Kansas City for games 3 and 4. Game 3, Steve Rogers against Paul Splittorff. Top of the first inning, the Expos, they roll out again. A single, a walk, a single, a triple by Ron Fairley, and a single by Rich McKinney with 4 runs in the first frame. Now, does that jinx them? They scored a big first inning. Does that mean they're going to lose? In this case, they add 2 more runs in the 4th. After a 2-out error, they get a triple, the second triple off the game off the Splittorff card. They hit 3 triples today off of Paul Splittorff's card. They get 6 runs in this, but in this particular instance, Steve Rogers says, no, we're going to hold on to this lead. He goes 8 innings, 6 hits, a run, and Tom Walker finishes the game. And indeed, in this one, game 3, the Expos hold on to their early first-run lead, and they get a road win. 6-1 is the final. So the Expos have home and road wins. The Royals have a road win. All they need is a home win for the perfect math through 4. And that's what we got today, folks. A game 4 in Kansas City, where the Royals, you'd think, would be expected to win at home in a game 4. Your starting pitchers for the Expos, it is Bill Stoneman. 17-game winner in 71 with 3.14 ERA and 295 innings. One of 2 pitchers who can pitch on 3 days rest for the Expos, along with Steve Renko. For the Royals, it'll be Marty Patton. He was a 12-game winner for the 72 Red Sox with a 3.24 ERA. Pretty evenly matched game. And in the spirit of things, you're almost kind of rooting for the Royals here to even this thing up so I can get a nice, exciting game 5. While we're doing this, let's just take a quick peek at the standings at this moment. And I'll show you, folks. Now, let's go to the, there's your Expos. 11-3 in a division that normally the Indians and Tigers rule over. The Expos are the guy to get this year. The Royals were in first in a very weak division, and they've lost 2 out of 3. And if they lose this game, the White Sox will just be a half game behind. So, here we are now in a game 4. Let's get started. Fun baseball. When I get some fun baseball, I like to talk a lot about, these players and so forth, and that's why this pregame is run pretty long. So, leading off for your Expos, it'll be Ken Singleton. 33 rolls to first. Ron Hunt, 48, is a strikeout. And Mike Jorgensen, 66, is a base hit. The first inning has been rather interesting in the series. Let's see what happens. Bob Bailey, 1-5 is a strikeout. So, will it be the Royals who get a big first inning? It'll be Pat Kelly leading off for them. 47, single 1 of 14 off Stoneman, gets it. He's a beast stealer. Bateman's got a -1 arm. Amos Otis likes to hit and run against righties occasionally, and he does here, and he moves the runner up. Runner goes to second base on the hit and run. Ed Kirkpatrick, 36 is a K. And with 2 outs, it'll be Lou Piniella. 110, let's take a look at the Lou Piniella card. Like I said, one of the foundational members of the 69 Royals, and he's there through 72-3, I believe, before he goes to the Yankees. In 72, in 600 plate appearances, he hits .312 with 11 home runs. 110 here is a single to right field. Kelly most certainly will run. He's a 17 runner. 18-19. -4 arm by Staub, that makes it 1-15. And he's thrown out on a 20. Now, Rusty Staub's got a -4 arm. He's going to probably much throw everybody out on a 20. And yeah, nobody scores in the first. So we've got a new result for today. We go to the second. It'll be Rusty Staub. Guy who made that tremendous throw. 66, base hit. Ron Fairley, 65, second C. Staub moves to second base for John Bateman. 56 is a base hit to center field off the patent card. There's another arm, Otis, -4, so they won't challenge him. Got a -4 for the Royals in center, a -4 in right for the Expos. Runners in the corners are going to bring it up for A. Bunting, Boots Day. 59, short X. Patek is a 2E27. And he makes the play. Runner from first goes to second base with the infield up. So you have second and third, 2 outs for number 9 hitter, Gary Sutherland. 68 is a fly ball to left. Bottom of 2, it's John Mayberry. 19 is a K. Bob Oliver, 35. That'll be a double 1-11 base hit. George Brett, 2-8, lines a third. And with 2 outs, it'll be Patek. 2-5, grounds to short. We go to the third. Kenny Singleton back up top here. 65, second. Ron Hunt, 410, pops to short. Mike Jorgensen, 210, flies to right field. Nice start for Marty Patton. They need it. Paul Popovich in the lineup as a left-handed bat instead of Rojas today. Pops to first. Pat Kelly, 58. And with 2 outs, Amos Otis, 2-3. Pops the third. Scoreless. Into the fourth we go. Bob Bailey, 1-6, just misses. K's. Rusty Staub, 69, center. And Ron Fairley, 64. A strikeout. Marty Patton has tamed the Expos through 4. Ed Kirkpatrick, 53. Right X. This is Staub, great arm, but everything else is not so much. A 3E16 in right field. It's a fly ball A. Lou Piniella, 37, center. John Mayberry, 59, second X. Second baseman Ron Hunt's a 3-19. That's going to be an error. Now, we've seen a bunch of 2-out errors be painful in this series. Let's see what Bob Oliver can do. 57 is a K. Scoreless into the fourth. John Bateman, 1-6, center. Boots Day, 210 is a base hit. How about a hit and run for these guys with the number 9 hitter? Hit and run 11 with a B to B, moves the runner up. Runner goes to second with 2 outs for Ken Singleton. 38 is a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Ron Hunt. 211 pops to second base. Scoreless today. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the 5th in Kansas City. Scoreless game. It'll be George Brett leading off. 58 Ks. I ain't going to show cards until somebody does something. I'm going to waste my breath and I'm not hitting any columns. 58 Patek Ks. Popovich, 46, hit Stoneman's column, double 1-6, base hit. And back up top to Pat Kelly with 2 outs, the runner at first. 39 rolls to second base. It's the Bill Stoneman, Marty Patton show. Into the 6th inning we go. We have a 4-hitter for Patton. We have a 4-hitter for Stoneman. And basically the Expos have 1 more batter through 5 than the Royals. So it's Jorgensen leading off. 46 off Patton's a single. Bob Bailey, 35 is a K. Rusty Staub, 1-5. Let's take a look at a guy, Rusty Staub, his last year in the Expos. And this is another situation where A little bit like Joe Morgan, where the team, Staub goes to the Mets, Joe Morgan goes to the Reds. But the teams they're presently on are not going to get them there anytime soon. They're going to hold on to Rusty Staub until his card expires in 71, then he goes to the Mets in 72. And that's exactly what the plan is. Morgan, same thing. He's going to stay with the Astros before he goes to the Reds in 72. Rusty Staub, 1-5, one of his 19 home runs in a 1971 where he hit 311. 2-run blast, 2-0, Expos. Ron Fairley. 2-6 is a base hit. And Patton's starting to lose it here in the 6th inning. John Bateman, 47's a K. And with 2 outs, Boots Day. 2-2 rolls the third. A 2-0 game. But we believe the Royals have what it takes to make it. Attempted a comeback. Force a game 5. We'll see. Amos Otis, 58 is a strikeout. Remember, they got shut out by Rogers through 7 innings in game 3 at home, and now they're doing the same thing. The Royal offense is curled up against these Expo pitchers. 1-9, Kirkpatrick walks, and as soon as I say that, Pinella's the tie run. 33, pops to second. With 2 outs, John Mayberry. 55 off Stoneman's a walk. 2 on, 2 outs for Bob Oliver. 56 is a K. Bill Stoneman. It's a 2-0 game. Top of the 7th inning. Top of the 7th, it'll be Gary Sutherland. 34, pops to short. Kenny Singleton. 2-10 is a K. And with 2 outs, Ron Hunt. 2-7 is a walk. Mike Jorgensen. 48 off Patton is single 1-2-7. Rolls a 12. Patton gets a break. And the inning is over. Defensively, with a 2-0 lead, a little bit of defense to bring in. Ted Martinez will come in and play short, and Sutherland will move to second. And that's the only defense they'll bring in. Stretch time here in Kansas City of a 2-0 game. And we're enjoying this country music playlist. Most of the stuff is hits from 1971. Of course, we got a Marty Robbins song here. Bunch of great stuff on this particular country music playlist from the early, kind of hitting into the timeline here most of the time. And that's what we've been enjoying. Most of the time we do a single artist, but there are certain teams that like to have greatest hits or mixes of various artists, and I've chosen the Royals to do that. So there you go, just giving you some variety in the background music, folks. Bottom of the 7th, Bill Stoneman. He is a starter 9, and you don't have to worry about innings on this team. Stoneman's a starter 9, Dale Murray, a closer, is a starter 4, and Mike Marshall is a relief 3. So the Expos can go long with their pitching staff. Also, one other interesting note here. Most teams are required to go with 3 left-handed pitchers on their team. The Expos, they only have 2 left-handers. They have Baylor Moore and Mickey Scott, because they actually had a team that only had 1 left-handed pitcher through an entire year and only threw 40 innings. I believe it's the 73 Expos. So, could you imagine playing a team where most, 160 innings of a 162 game season is all right-handed pitching? That's what the Expos did one year. And they're going to see if they can get that to work in a similar manner in this season. Bottom of 7, Stoneman. It'll be George Brett leading off. 3-10, rolls the third. Fred Patek, 69, flies to center. And Paul Popovich, 68, skies to center. We got a couple harmless singles by the Royals through 7 innings. Patton will fight into the 8th. He's only giving up that 2-run homer. Bob Bailey, 35 is a K. Rusty Stahl with a big blast earlier. 2-6 is a single. He also threw a guy out the plate, and he's got 2 singles. He's your game MVP, I suppose, him and Stoneman. Ron Fairley, 58 off Patton, is a second X. But we have Popovich at 2E13. This should be a double play. And it is. The Royals hanging in there. Of a 2-0 game. Bottom of the 8th. Back up top. It'll be Bill Stoneman against Pat Kelly. 38 is a grounder to short. Amos Otis, 64. Short X. This is Ted Martinez, a 3E18. That's going to be a base hit. The Expos, their defense. This is some nice players in a couple spots, but overall, it's pretty mediocre. Pretty mediocre to below average, you could say. Ed Kirkpatrick. 46 off Stoneman, double 1 to 6, single ... That'll be a single ... The Royals have brought the tying runs on board for Piniella and Mayberry, and I think it's time in a potential closeout game, because I say these guys can go long. They're going to pull Stoneman so he cannot lose. Throwing a shutout, 7 1/3 innings. He cannot lose, and they're going to go right to Dale Murray here. Again, one of two players from the 74 set, the other being Mike Jorgensen, who were absolutely lights out. So Dale Murray is arguably the best closer in all of this, because he had a 1.03 ERA in 70 innings. That's not insignificant, in 74. And he becomes the closer on a team that actually, needs a closer if they want to go to the playoffs. So, and Mike Jorgensen, who we haven't really talked about much today, I mean, his stats are right up there with Steve Garvey's stats. He's a 1 first baseman defensively, and is just as destructive as Steve Garvey was for the Dodgers. The difference, of course, is that Jorgensen only had 343 at-bats, so he only played 3/4 of a season, unlike Garvey, who played all 162 games. So, anyway, Dale Murray comes on in the 8th inning with runners on the corners. Lefties and righties, neither bother him. And it'll be Lou Piniella. He needs to stay out of a double play here. And here's the pitch to Lou Piniella. 38 is a 6-4-3 double play. Lou Piniella, not what you wanted against Dale Murray here in the 8th inning. So that'll end that threat. Tough break for the Royals. 2-0 into the 9th, and Patton's going to finish this thing. He's made one mistake. It'll be John Bateman. 66, single 1 to 12, base hit. Boots Day. 42, pitcher B. You have speed on, so Sutherland's going to try that hit and run again. Moves runner up again. So you have a runner scoring position, Singleton, to try and go for that insurance run. 43 is center X. This is Amos Otis. He's a 1 in center field. That's it. Inning over. Marty Patton get a nice ovation here by the Royal fans. He's had a rough year, but boy, today he pitched pretty darn good. One mistake here in the 6th inning. It looks like it might haunt them, as now they have to get 2 or 3 runs in the 9th off the best closer in baseball. And to do that, we will begin the 9th. Let's start showing some cards with John Mayberry. We'll show you his cards, folks. 298 hitter and 72 with 25 home runs. He hit like 157 or something like that for the Houston Astros, and the Royals took a chance, said, come to the American League and we can develop you into a regular first baseman for the entire decade, and that's what they did. So here's the pitch to John Mayberry. 211, rolls to first. Now we got Bob Oliver. Let's take a look at Bob, who was a Royal and an Angel. Corner infield, could play the outfield. Very versatile player. A good DH, where they didn't have a DH in this timeline, so they can put him there. Or at least they didn't have a DH in 72 for Bob Oliver, who in 600 plate appearances, it's 269 with 20 home runs. The pitch to Bob Oliver. 34, grounds to third, and with 2 outs, we got to show you the rookie. Big moment here for the rookie, George Brett. Let's take a look at your 1974 George Brett. He and Schmidt and Robin Yount all make their debuts in this season in their 74. Now, of course, Schmidt played in 73, but it was pretty poor. But anyway, Brett hit 282 in 480 plate appearances. Doesn't have that power yet. And next year he'll hit 300. So here is the pitch to George Brett. 1-8 is a ground ball to first base, and the Expos beat the Royals 2 straight in Kansas City. The Royals only scored 1 run in 2 games and break up the Expos. That is a major move in the American League. The Expos, they are your top team in the American League in an era where you would not even remember them. And they have taken advantage of 4 different seasons of finding guys in their best years. Hunt's best year, Singleton's best year, Jorgensen's, Staub and Fairley, they're consistent throughout. Bob Bailey, one of the most underrated hitters in the early 70s. Bob Bailey, power walks in about, 350, 400 at-bats most seasons. Dangerous hitter. And you're seeing it happen today, folks. The Expos beat the Royals 2-0. We'll give you the box, and now look at the standings. That was game number 219 of this long season. That's good news for the White Sox, as that division is totally up for grabs. Marty Patton, 9 hits, 2 runs, the 2-run homer, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts in his complete game. Dale Murray comes on for, turned out to be a relatively easy save. Guys on base, he gets a double play grounder, and that's it. He's untouchable. Bill Stoneman, most guys would hate leaving with a shutout, but he knew that Dale Murray was following him. He also had 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. 1019, 0109, 2906, 2828. So, plug in the composite box and we'll look at the stats for these 2 teams. Royals win game 1. Then the Expos got a little ticked off and rip off 3 straight wins. That is, yeah, that's a, I'm not going to say playoff, that's a World Series contender right there. They're doing stuff that, the Oakland A's would do. So, the Royals have fallen to 9-9. So, this division won't be decided until the last week of the season, because they're all playing each other now. 283 for the Royals, 390 ERA, 283 average, 390 ERA. Roger Nelson's 4-0 with his brilliant 72 card. That's the highlight there. And Doug Bird has converted 7 saves, so they've got the top and the bottom, and their pitching's been okay. But the rest of their bullpen's pretty weak. They got a weak bullpen other than Doug Bird. That's problematic. Power department, Mayberry's got 414 RBI in 18 games. Hits department, a nice start for Lou Piniella. He's 29 for 72. He's hitting 403. Lou Piniella. You saw his card. So he's having a heck of a start. But let's break up your Expos. Oh my goodness, folks. This is one of the better starts I've had in... the Mets had a great start. The Reds have had a great start in various years. But a 12-3 start for the Expos. Wow. They've won all their series. They played 4 series. They've won them all. 264, the 343 ERA. The 264 is a little on the low side. And actually the 343 is just average. They actually could get better, which is scary. They have scored 82 runs. They've been efficient with the hits. 82 runs, they've only given up 57 runs. So yeah, that's a plus 25 runs in 15 games. Of course, Dale Murray, he's got 4 saves in 9 1/3 innings. You got Bill Stoneman is 4-0. Hasn't thrown a complete game yet because they keep going to their deep bullpen. Offensively, not a lot of power yet for these guys. Matter of fact, Rusty Staub, that was just his 3rd home run in that game to lead the club, but not a lot of home runs. So you're seeing that as good as this offense looks, they're doing okay. As a matter of fact, the hits are pretty evenly distributed to about a 264 average for most people. And Staub's 21 for 61, which is about 333. 344 for Staub, the leader. Yeah, he's your all-star with 13 RBI as well. So, the league now in 219 games, you're starting to see more hitting, even though we had a 2-0 shutout there. We're up to 258 batting average. It was as low as 249. 322 on base. The league ERA was down to 3.19 at one point. It's climbed to 3.50. Weather's getting warmer, and the teams are dialing in their lineups and making choices as to how to hit and run, bunt, and steal bases and all that sort of stuff. A 138 whip in the league. That's it today. Break up your Expos. They beat the Royals 3-1. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.